My name is Eduardo Iniestra, and I work at the Save Our Youth Center as the Arts and Music Program Coordinator.
Okay. What were your plans when you were 17?
When I was 17, that's kind of when I started thinking about getting into the world of music, but I was already doing a lot of visual art. So at the time, I wanted to go to an art school and go ahead and get my art degree and continue with, working with the visual arts, whether it be basically like music industry stuff, so like making music videos or even ads and things of that sort for music related things. But so that was like my plan when I was 17.
Okay. Was there anyone that motivated you to follow your dreams?
For the most part, I think it was just the actual fact that I really enjoy that. I did it as a hobby since I was a kid, and it's stuff that I love to do. So there were, visual artists that I looked up to at the time, but for the most part, it was just my own motivation and my own drive to continue to be involved in things that I love to do. So I didn't really have a role model as far as the whole art and visual thing. Music-wise, obviously, they have a lot of influences from different people and different artists. But for the most part, it was just my self-driven motivation to be a part of that world.
Okay. Were there ever pressure from society telling you to be something or do something else? If so, how did you shut out the noise?
Well, there was definitely a lot of pressure from society, including from family members, particularly my mom. And I think everybody in my family always wanted, and I think that goes for a lot of families. They want you to do something else, like your typical like doctor or lawyer type of thing. Why are you laughing?
Because that's so true.
Yeah, so I mean, better than most that I think it's I want to say Latino families, but I think it's like in all kinds of families. They just want you to follow the narrow road to like success and like be an engineer, be a lawyer, be something that has some kind of stability, you can say, in their world. If you come from a family that has that as their background, like if you come from parents that are lawyers and stuff like that, then they know what it takes to get there. But when I come from a family where my mom's uneducated, she didn't even finish high school, so her dreams for me were like, I want to say a lot bigger than what she sees now, But I guess the best way to tune the noise out was just for me to stay focused, stay focused on what I wanted to do, follow my heart, follow my passion, but actually do it. There's a lot of people out there that they have some kind of passion or some kind of love for something, but they just leave it at that. And I think the opportunity, especially here growing up in the United States, I think it's huge, but you just gotta follow through with your plans. Because if you don't follow through, then they're never gonna happen. There's always somebody else that wants your spot. There's always somebody else that wants what you want. So you have to work twice as hard. So I just stayed focused. I stayed strong in my decision with my family, and little by little they started seeing that it was actually bringing results for me. It was bringing positive results in my life. It was allowing me to take steps forward and move up in what I wanted to do. And the achievements started they're still piling up. And every time they see something that I do, that something that I complete, a project that I complete, a project that gets attention, or it could be a post or some kind of write-up about it in some kind of publication, then they start seeing that. Then they start seeing the bigger picture that you are seeing, And I think that's when it all kind of comes together. But that's how I tune it out, just staying focused and staying strong.
How do you balance your personal life and your professional life?
That's easy. I don't have a personal life. No, that's the cool thing about what I do, actually. Like, my personal life is part of my professional life, and it's a beautiful thing for me. I do what I do, and I love what I do, and it allows me to be in this center of like this social network, and this big, like, I don't know, interconnection of like different people. So I meet people from all over the world. I meet people in different areas, and I as part of being in the art and like the music world, it's like being, I'm there to entertain, I guess, So I do what I do. I meet a lot of people. I have fun doing what I do, and so that part, as far as having fun, I mean, because you see students that are like going to school and they're following their path, what they want to do, but they're like, doing schoolwork and all that stuff, and they can't really go out sometimes, or they'll have to wait till like some kind of break to go out and stuff. Like, I don't have to do that. Like, I do that anytime. So usually my break is like going away on my own and like, kind of like getting a little bit of meditation, a little bit of focus, and like, settle down a bit and like get away from it all, and then come back to my career, which is being around people and like being in the entertainment world, which is really fun. So I don't really have a problem with personal, but splitting it both.
It just mixed together well.
It does no pun intended, but like it's mixed together really well. and I meet like great people. Like I met so many kinds of different people. Like, I mean, not just people in the industry, like the music industry or art or in the art world, but I mean like lawyers, like all kinds of different things. They just want to have fun, and like, so my social network is awesome.
Okay, were the exceptions of your job what you expected?
Wait, I'm sorry, say that again?
Were the exceptions of your job what you expected?
What do you mean by exceptions?
Like, when you thought of your job, was it what you really, when you think of art and music, was that what you thought it was going to be, or something changed?
No, you know what? It's actually been pretty on point. If anything, I've gotten surprised of all the things that have come from it. But it's kind of always been what I've expected. I've never really had, some people get into the whole art, and I don't want to say so much art, but more on the music side of things, that they want to have that attention, they like, the spotlight and stuff. That's not the case for me, really. I got into it because I really love what I do, and so I never went into this whole thing with like, being behind the scenes and the VIP and the red carpet and all that stuff. That stuff is just a plus, it's cool. Like, I enjoy it. I don't shy away from it. I think it's fun, I like messing with people when I do that. So I think it's what I expected and more. I'm a simple person, so just when I create something, or I'm able to work on music or work on visual art, I'm just really enjoying every second of it. So when I'm available to expose what I do, or share it, and people really enjoy it, and then it takes me to other places, then it's just a plus for me. So I'm just kind of riding the wave. So it's what I expected and more. There's in a very positive way. There's also some negativity aspects that have come from it, but it's just more people, being like, what do you call it, like jealous. And but I stay away from that too. I just surround myself with people that I like, and that I have things in common with. But it's everything that I expected.
Okay. Describe a typical day in your life of your job.
A typical day, especially as of lately, is basically, I was talking to this with another friend of mine yesterday, but I asked her, like, what do you do in your free time? And I kind of knew the answer to that, because we're kind of like in a similar career. So like, I wake up, have my breakfast, my coffee, and go straight to the computer. Like, look for download new music, check emails, forward respond to emails, forward emails, promote whatever project I'm doing in social networking, whether it be like Twitter, Facebook, whatever. So I promote that. Usually I'm working on a project, so when that's done, then work on the project that I'm working on at the time. Soy is part of what I do, but in my career ties in with what I do. So obviously, when it's time for me to come to Soy and do the after schooling with the students, then I come and do that. They're usually planning my workshops with the students, but I usually already have those made, and I just kind of keep recycling them and adding things. So sometimes I have to prepare for a workshop, go buy whatever materials, get ready for Soy. Then when I come here to Soy, because it's during the after school hours, and I'm here 3 to like 7:30, and just focus on what we're doing here, which is a lot of it too, is like, spreading the word about what we do, trying to get funds, try to get funding so we can stay open. And then obviously, working with the students, working with the youth, doing, art workshops, music workshops on a weekly basis, which is really fun, because then I get to share my love and my interest with them in the hopes of that, if they want to follow that, they can actually continue to do so. Or if they want to use it as a pastime, then it can at least build some self-confidence and then, maybe spark them up a little bit somehow. When that's done, usually like the earlier of the week, I don't really have gigs. I have more of my gigs and my events during the weekend. So like Mondays and Tuesdays, same thing. Just go, get something to eat, go home, continue to work on projects, and then when I have gigs, it's kind of like the similar situation. But then at the end of the night, I have to go perform or DJ or put an art show together and stuff like that. So that's kind of like my typical week, I guess. Yeah. There's always events going on the weekends, so my weekends are super packed.
Okay. Do you picture doing your job for the rest of your life?
Yeah. I picture doing this for a very long time, and it comes in different stages too. So there's other things that I want to do, but I think I have to get the experience to be able to make those things happen. So I definitely picture myself being around this world, but eventually doing different things with it.
Being 80, still DJing.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be DJing until like I'm 100, because that's just like, even for fun in my room, because that's the beautiful thing about it. Like, it went from being my hobby to like being my career to like, putting a roof over my head and like, being able to pay for my lifestyle. But yeah, I'm probably gonna be DJing until I'm 80. But you gotta look at people like like big time producers like Dr. Dre and like even the RZA, which I don't know. RZA is actually he just did his movie with the men of the Iron Fist or something like that. And but he started as a DJ and producer, and then like now he's like he started doing more stuff in the music and in the movie industry. So he started doing scores for Kill Bill 1 and 2 and different things like that. So that's what I mean. Like, I want to be involved in it, but I want to evolve. So whatever I'm doing now, I want to do more the following year and so on. So eventually, when I'm old and wrinkly, then I can still be involved in it somehow. But I'm still gonna be DJing in my bedroom until I'm 100 years old.
Okay.